Hello, 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 Facebook family. Welcome, welcome to episode 13. Episode 13, am I correct?
Correct.
All right, episode 13. Elevate, equipping leaders of tomorrow. So, whenever I want to say hello to everybody that's out there. If you're out there, please respond. It looks like we have a couple people out there right now. Just respond about how your day is going. If you're doing great, challenging day, promising day, hardworking day, everything above, let us know. I'd like to give everybody a minute or so before we move on. I'm really excited about this one. Well, I say that all the time. I'm trying to get my lighting right. I'm real excited about this one because it's actually, it's an area that, that's very important for all of us to really master. So, hey, Mother Brenda. Hey, Miss Ann. Are y'all together? Or is Annie Karen together? Oh, you guys are all together? Hello, hello, hello. It's good to hear from you guys. Good to see you guys. I know you guys have been waiting all day. I know my wife was waiting for it too. You guys know what I'm getting ready to say. But we always start off with the jokes. The jokes. To lighten the day, a little refresher. So definitely I know you guys are anticipating. You woke up this morning, you'll say, I wonder what the jokes are going to be today. So anyway, wanted to start off with this one. It says, what do you call a king's sore throat? Hey, Mom and Dad. Hey, Aunt Stephanie. Hello, hello. You guys are just in time. Just in time for my favorite part, the jokes. So the first one, and I think I'm glad to see Aunt Stephanie back. She wasn't here last week, so it was kind of different not to see her there. So it's good to see her. Aunt Stephanie says she's feeling strong. That's good. How about everybody else? Do we have any? How you guys feeling out there today? The weather's changing. Believe it or not, my wife said something about fall and that we're not supposed to wear white or something. Is that what you said a couple weeks ago? Yeah, I'm not going to go by that. I mean, I'm a dude. I'm going to wear whatever color. It don't matter the season. Whatever's in the closet and it's clean, I'm going to wear it. So my dad said he's having an awesome day. Tamika feeling great in Lago Vista. Good to see you on. So going to the jokes, because I really want to get into the session today just because there's a lot of reasons, and I'll share as I go through. But what do you call a king's sore throat? What do you call a king's sore throat? Any ideas, Shar? She rolled her eyes. You call it a royal pain in the neck. I don't know what's more funny, the joke or looking at her facial expressions over here. So what do you call a king's sore throat? A royal pain in the neck. All right. Didn't get too many. No white after Labor Day. Ed said no white. All right. I keep that in mind. Asa Hayes. I have no idea. All right. She said it's funny. So hey, I get one. I'm going to keep rolling. All right. Number 2. What did the cops tell the mime when they arrested her? What did the cop tell the mime? Oh, look at this. I got intimidation back here. Kai's in the window. He's gonna judge every joke. He's in the doorway. He's inside now. Hello. Say hi to the people. Look at that. Look at. He's gonna judge all my jokes here. All right. So, what do the cops tell the mime when they arrest her? Any ideas? No ideas?
Actually, no. It wouldn't say anything because moms aren't supposed to break their character.
Okay. It says you still have the right to remain silent. Yeah, he was right. Anyway. All right, let's try this one. Let's try this one. What did the fisherman say to the magician? What did the fisherman say to the magician? Anybody? Nope. Anybody? Grandma said, "Hey, baby." Hey, I got a groan on that one. That last joke, I got a groan. So, what did the fisherman say to the magician? Pick a card. Any card. Pick a card. Any card. You get it?
Oh,
Card.
yeah, because it costs a fish.
What'd you say, Kai?
That was a good one.
See, Kai like that one. All right. So, as long as we get a couple good ones, we roll next week with the tradition of the jokes. So, that's the episode 13's jokes. So, now we move on. And this is appropriate because Kai's in here. But I wanted to... first, I'll do the little, the housekeeping stuff. Thanks for joining us today. Most of you know me. I'm Curtis Carr. I've been in leadership for over 30 years, training in a training capacity for over 15. Chardell, my wife, is a partner with me in this leadership company. She's a business analyst. She's been doing that for over 10 years, a business analyst and project manager. She's also runs her own business. I'm the founder of E.L.E.V.A.T.E. It's called E.L.E.V.A.T.E. Equipping Leaders of Tomorrow. E.L.E.V.A.T.E. is an acronym: expectations, leadership, ethics, vision, temperaments, and effectiveness. So our leadership team is comprised of my wife and I, and I really wanted to spend this time. Miss Ann says she had a headache. Maybe she meant to say headache. I hope my jokes didn't contribute to the headache. But anyway, I wanted to give a shout out to Mrs. Carr over here. She's had an incredible impact on my life and my family. She works as an executive leadership position in corporate America, runs a small business, raised two boys, and the ability to run a successful business through a pandemic when we've seen all kind of doors close. More importantly, she's connected and influential with her extended family too. So, I mean, she's an impact player, and I'm proud that she's on the team.
Thank you, honey.
Proud. So, I mean, I can actually say this every week. I think it would be boring to y'all if I said it every week. But Chardell is she's an impact player. People that meet her know that. People that meet her know that. It's different. She's different. She has an amazing heart, and even a great work ethic, and wisdom. She's just not running the circle. She has wisdom too. So definitely wanted to go through that with it and give her a shout out. And as far as today, I wanted to kind of move into the subject because we kind of go over the offerings at this point. What we do, we have individual coaching. We have coaching for leaders, existing leaders. We do it for employers. We do the E.L.E.V.A.T.E. program. We do assessments to get to know you better. But I kind of want to go out and just kind of jump into the session because it's a lot of information, and I'm trying to make sure that I give you something that'll be something impactful. So the way we conduct these Facebooks is that we depend on your comments, and I'm loving that we have comments. I love it. We have comments. I can see it. Miss Ann says she is the most special woman. Look at that. And Tamika met her for the first time, so she says she agrees. So awesome. So the way we conduct these Facebook Lives, we depend on your comments, and we will end promptly at 7:30. So my plan is to read every comment. We also encourage you to like and share. So this is my weakness, guys. We're trying to get to 20 shares, and we're going to do some things to help push that. But if you can, like and share, it would be great, especially when you hear something that really hits home, something that you feel like impacts you. And my dad said, we are blessed. Shards is our daughter. See, my dad don't have any kids, no girls. It's all boys. So,
I don't have a dad,
so my wife says that's her dad. So there we go. All right. But so we really encourage you to like and share. But today's topic is communication. So I'm an introvert. So this is a challenging topic. Something I've always struggled with. I'm not a talker. I'm a guy that's more of a get in there and get it done kind of guy. I'm shy. I've always been kind of relationally challenged when it comes to interpersonal relationships because I keep too much stuff inside. But through the years, you kind of get stretched and you get pushed. Corporate America definitely is going to push you. If you want to go anywhere, you're going to have to talk. I remember when I was first promoted into an assistant manager position, the guy says, you do great work, but you don't talk. He says, we need you to talk. And I was like, well, why can't I just keep doing great work? Why I just gonna come in here and do my job? And we need you to impact others. It's not good enough for you just to cover you. We need help. We need you to impact others. So communication. What is communication? It's simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another. That's all it is. Transferring information to one place, person, or group to another. Now, every communication involves at least a sender, a message, and a recipient. So these are things we already know. This is not new information for anybody. But remember, communication is not just words. We really communicate in 4 ways. What we do, that's behavior and actions. Very key. What we do, we communicate by what we do. And real quick on the behavior and action, I just want to tell a story about a guy that was working. This was one of my customers, and she was telling me about how her son got promoted. So her son comes on. He's working for Discount Tires. He's one of the guys that's in there hustling. And she said that he went inside the restroom and noticed that the paper towel dispenser was empty. So he walked out, got new paper towels, and changed the empty paper towel dispenser. He comes back out, and the manager said, hey, who told you to do that? He says, well, in my house, man, we see something that's not done, we knock it out. So nobody told me to do it. I just saw it was empty, so I filled it up. And they said, we're going to put you in the management program. He said, because that's the mentality that we need, that initiative, just seeing that something's undone and getting it done. So he communicated what kind of person he was by his behavior and his actions. So that's the first one. Second is how we look, our physical appearance, our facial expressions, and other body language, right? Third one is what we say, conversations, vocabulary, how we put sentences together. It all communicates stuff to people, right? How we say it, the attitude, the gestures, the tones, very important, very important. So basically the 4 ways we communicate, what we do, how we look, what we say, and how we say it. So I remember one time, this is early on in E.L.E.V.A.T.E, we went to a youth facility. So it was a couple hundred kids out there, and my cousin that passed away, he got me out there, and he says, you're gonna be talking to these kids in the gym. He says, oh yeah, it's you can't say anything religious, you can't say the word Jesus, you just got to go out there and talk to these kids. Now, of course, I thought it was gonna be different, so I go out there and I'm like walking around the gym. All these kids start pouring in. It's crazy. The security guards come in, teachers, all these people come in. So I want to say about 175, 225, somewhere in that range. And they're out of control. I mean, it's out of control. That's all I can say is out of control. So, we get them focused. Everything goes well. At the end, this lady comes to raises her hand and says, hey, I just want to ask a question. Since you're an employer, I want to know, when do you first start making your decision when you're going to hire somebody? I said, oh, that's okay. I said, that's a great question. That's a great question. Well, as soon as I see him or hear him, I start assessing. I said, whatever comes first, whether it's, they're on the phone or they walk up, whatever happens first, my mind starts assessing. And man, she went off. She said, well, that's not fair. The person hasn't got a chance to even speak yet, and you already judging her. And she had the neck roll. I ain't going to do it because I don't want to hurt myself, because her neck was very flexible. So anyway, she was upset. So the kids start going, after all that time to calm them down, the place goes berserk. Ooh, they start going berserk. So I said, well, ma'am, just hear me out. Can I respond? So they got quiet. And then I said, okay, you got to understand, I'm just like a parent of a home. I said, if your daughter was going out on a date, as soon as that joker opened up the door, you're already looking at the window. You're already looking out the window and you making assessments. What his shoes look like? Does he have his pants pulled all the way up? What does his hair look like? Does he have an earring? Does he have a nose ring? You're already paying attention. I said, I'm no different. I said, my child is that business. So yeah, I'm not there to make it fair for you. I'm here to protect this house. And then boom, the kids go, oh, But at the end of the day, a lot of people don't understand that. I have a business to protect. I'm not worried about you. I had to sign out that says help wanted. This ain't about you. This is about me and my business. So one of those stories, just understanding what we do, how we look, what we say, and how we say it. Also wanted to break down University of California professor. He broke it down even further. And it became real popular. It's kind of like second nature now. Everybody talks about it. But he says all communication, 55% of it is body language. 55% of communication is body language. The hand gestures, the facial expressions. I can't remember. I think there's like 7,000 muscles in the face. So you're communicating, right? He says 38% is tone. So how you say it, the tone you have when you say it. And 7% is words. So very important. It kind of took off. But, if you think about it, there's a lot to that. I can tell my wife I love her, or I can say, I love you, woman. Hell, it's, it's a difference. It's a difference in the way you say it. So we're going to go on to the next part of this, but I wanted to share another little story. I guess this is communication day, so I'm going to share these stories. So they went and they did an interview of people that rob people on the subways. So they said, okay, well, how do y'all determine who you rob? Oh, Miss Sister's in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I missed what Miss Ann said. But okay. But hi, Miss Sister, Aunt Sister. So they said, how do you guys decide who you're going to rob? And they said, we just look at their body language. If we look at them, we sense weakness. If they look timid, then we get them. So, I remember as a kid, I grew up in San Diego in the elementary years, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And I don't want to make it seem like I grew up in this rough area. It wasn't a rough area, but the school had some rough elements, put it that way. I went there about 8 years ago. There's a fence around the school, all right? There's a fence, a chain link fence around about 3 feet in front of the school all the way around. So I go there and, one thing I learned very quickly, if you're not tough, you need to fake like you're tough. So I used to walk around. I was probably 80 pounds, soaking wet, but I looked like I was strong. Miss Aunt Linda's on. All right, Miss Linda. So basically, the way we look communicates a lot, and I just want to make sure I convey the message that it's not just about words, and we know that really, if you think about it, we know that. So I wanted to kind of go over why today's topic is called communication, because I really believe there's 3 main stages in communication. And people evolve in their skill set as their skill set develops. 3 main stages in communication. The first stage of communication is regarding relationships. As you grow up, cousins, mother, father, brothers, sisters, it's just what we do. We communicate, we talk. So that's the first stage. The second stage in communication is regarding training. And it doesn't have to be in a employer-employee role. It's just, hey, this is how you clean up your room. Some people have the song. I remember we used to sing the song. Boys probably remember this, but clean up, everybody, everywhere, clean up, everybody does their share. But it was training. It was kept positive. There was a lot of feedback. So they pick up something, you clap your hands. Oh, well, we do that. That's different type of communication, but it's a communication with the purpose of training. And then there's a third stage, is a communication regarding culture. We know this too. So you don't do the same things in the 3 different stages. When it's just a relationship, you and your friend, you guys talk differently. When it's a relationship and you're trying to train, you talk differently because you're trying to replicate a behavior when you're training. You're trying to have somebody do what you did. So that's why you talk a little different. You repeat more, you just more step by step. It's okay, that's kind of close, but let's try to do this again. This is what I'm looking for. Oh, great. That's exactly what hey, great job. That's what I'm talking about. And then you would say, hey, I need you to teach everybody what you just learned. So it's a little bit different. And then when it's culture, we understand that there's certain things you don't say when in groups, like they even have a law. You can't say fire in a burning building because that's a culture in there. You're affecting the culture. So, and it's a safety issue. So that we understand that there's different stages or different realms that we communicate differently. But the 3 are definitely relationship, training, and culture. So those that really understand that people are impacted, steered, guided, influenced by words continue to progress or matriculate through those stages. Everybody's not going to be a master at all of them. It's just because everybody don't care. Everybody doesn't want to do all that. But when people see gifts, or people see that people are able to influence a room or influence a group, a lot of people will come to that person and try to steer them towards that area and be a leader or be a person of influence. So, when I think of that, I think of Martin Luther King, because, Martin Luther King, and many of y'all know this, but Martin Luther King wanted to be a medical doctor. But he was influenced by Benjamin E. Mays. And Benjamin E. Mays said, hey, I see something in you, man. I don't think you need to be a medical doctor. Can you imagine? We wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have that Monday off. I guess that's minimizing a little bit, but very impactful man, So to sit here and say, this man was influenced by Benjamin E. Mays, and most people don't know who Benjamin E. Mays is. But that's the man that's told that guy that he has a gift, and he used that gift to fight for social justice. And here we are to the point where he was a martyr, and now we are celebrating his life. So definitely understand that your gift a lot of times will set the stage. Your gift is not always something that isn't intentional or designed perfectly, but life will kind of steer and guide you that way. So now on each level of this, no matter what level you're on, whether you're communicating in a relationship, or you're communicating, doing some training, or you're communicating in a group and trying to impact a culture, there's certain characteristics that must be present. So basically there's 5 characteristics. So the person first, they have to be able to be trusted, and they have to trust. We always say be trusted, but you have to have the ability to trust people, right? You have to be able to show some vulnerability in order to establish relationships and grow. So that's one aspect. They also have to have an ability to work through conflict. And there's different levels, right? But they have to be able to show that they can work through some conflict, because people are going to bump heads. That's just the way it works. Third, they must be committed to a cause, because I always tell people this when I work with them. I said, we don't know what they're about until we make them responsible for something. They might be, everybody likes them right now. Let's give them a responsibility, and then we'll see what we really got here. So when they're committed to a cause and things are not ambiguous, then we can really see what that person's made out of. And if they become committed to decisions and the plans of actions to those decisions, we're really cooking with grease then. So the other 4th thing is that they do not avoid accountability, being held accountable or holding others accountable. The 5th is attention to focus and results, not on the status or the ego. So I remember people, especially when you're in a leadership position, and I'm missing some comments. I apologize. Thank you, sister. Thank you, Mother Brenda. But when I say status and ego, we know that. I mean, one guy was like, hey, you need to get that guy to stop doing that. You're in charge. You got power. I said, man, I ain't got no power. I'm trying to convince you to do what you do. It's not the way people think. It's not, man, we're just trying to get some stuff done. We're trying to make sure everybody gets along. So attention to the results is what we're focused on. We're not focused on status or ego, right? So very important. I hope I didn't go over that too fast. Did I go too fast on that? Shard. Shard's like, you can watch the replay. Shard finished typing and she's over here, she's done. She's waiting for the next comment. So, but at each level, the goal is a little different. Remember, at the relationship level, you're just trying to connect. You're trying to see if this is a person that you guys can walk together and agree. At the training level, you're trying to duplicate a certain behavior. At a culture level, we're looking for people that can influence and lead them effectively to reach a goal that requires many participants. So it's just different skills, right? I want to make sure I say this. You don't communicate the same at each level. And I see that a lot. The way you communicate in your day-to-day relationship with your cousin is not what you do, when you're affecting a culture. Things are going to be different. So I mean, it's very important. And I remember I know this is simple, and I'll tell this story. Y'all gonna probably say, man, you were stupid, Curtis. That was a stupid decision. But I'm gonna tell this story anyway, because what do I have to lose? So years ago, when we were doing Elevate, the Urban League hired me. I know my father knows exactly what I'm getting ready to say. I know my mom knows this too. So the Urban League hires me, and I go through and I do their staff, and then they have me working with the technology group. So I'm working with the technology group, and we're doing Elevate. I call Elevate the Bentley of business training. That's what I like. My wife inspired that because that's another story. We're going to talk about that another day. But anyway, the Bentley of business training. So we're trying to share this concept where you can have idols in your mind. You have these figures in your mind of people that just are, they're just awesome. And they're so awesome you can never attain it. So what we're trying to do in that session was try to break that mentality. So I'm sitting up there and, it's the Urban League, right? I look back and I'm like, hey, you can create these idols in your mind and you may not realize it, but you think that you can never accomplish what they accomplish, almost like they have a different type of blood or they have a different type of flesh. Their brain is not 3 pounds like the rest of us. They're just different. And I was like, it's not like that. You can do it. These people are normal people with normal issues. They just got focused and they accomplished something great. And we can do the same thing. So I looked back on the wall and guess what was a picture of? Martin Luther King. So I said, oh, this is a great example. Martin Luther King right here. Great man, accomplished great things. But history records that he had some woman issues. History records that there were some indiscretions. History records a lot more. But I'm not going to say it because I've already been slapped on the head about this stuff. So anyway, but I said that, right? The crowd was like, what? Martin Luther King, our idol? What? I was like, yeah. I said, this is not my opinion. I said, you can read it. It's out there. It's out there. It's not even debated, really. I mean, it's out there. They had movies where they talk about it. So anyway, we finished the session. Everything goes great. At least I thought everything went great. I get in the car. I'm driving, and Dr. Lassard calls me. He's like, hey, Curtis, how you doing? Hey, doing good, Dr. Lassard. How can I help you? Now, Dr. Lassard is the president of the Urban League. He says, I heard something that really disappointed me, and I just want to talk to you and see if this is true. I said, okay, Dr. Lassard. So, I'm already, starting to get a little tense here. Dr. Lassard goes, oh, my goodness, 727, 728. So Dr. Lassard goes, hey, I heard that you said that Martin Luther King, was a womanizer. Martin Luther King had some indiscretions. I said, oh, yeah, I said that. He says, we have one black hero and you tore him down. One black hero. He says, Curtis, I'm going to have to let you go. Now, I should preface this by saying, hey, there's going to be a part 2. So it's 728. But I preface this by saying, at that point, they already told me they're going to put me in the high schools and middle schools and the elementary schools. I mean, things were going well, so it was crushing to hear him say that. And I told him I apologize. I didn't understand platforms. That was the problem. I didn't understand culture and I didn't understand platforms. You can say that on your own platform. You can't say it on this platform. Martin Luther King is a hero, so you can't tear down Martin Luther King. So then he says, I'm going to have to let you go. So he hangs up. And the funny thing is he calls me back. He said, well, the class still wants you. So you come back, finish this class, and then you're fired. So I was like, okay, yes, sir. So, but definitely very important that you understand that what you communicate is different at each level. So we're at 729. We'll make a part 2 for this because I tell you, I'm not even halfway through. I am not halfway through. And let me know by posting a 1 if you got anything out of this. Communication, part 1, because we're going to have to definitely do a part 2. But the areas that we wanted to highlight was definitely talking about communication regarding relationships, communication regarding training. And remember that training is not in an official manner, just training children or anything that you're really involved in. We train all the time. People train all the time. They just don't call it that. And then communication regarding a culture and how to impact culture. The thing I see a lot of is people want to be the same no matter, they want to communicate the same no matter what stage they're in. When you're dealing with a culture, you got to think about it. The culture, we want to keep it positive. the culture. Hey, we want to create an environment of openness where people can share. So you can't say the same things in a culture setting than you would say in a one-on-one setting with your friends. So Malcolm X was a saint. Oh yeah, see, Stephanie, no, Stephanie with the master's degree over there. She said Malcolm X was a saint compared to Martin Luther King. You better watch yourself. We're gonna have people come burn down your house. You already said you live in Pflugerville, so you gotta watch yourself, Aunt Stephanie. So if you got anything out of this, please post the one at 7:30. I promise we will finish this up next week. One thing I just want to say, and I always try to say this. The next one is definitely communication, part 2. To micromanage or not, that is the question. That's going to be a favorite one for me because of what I'm going through right now. The 3 Ps, what your supervisor wants you to know. 1,440, time is on our side. And then the fifth one. The fifth one is, what is the opposite of a victim? So please like and share. Be intentional. Focus on growth and elevate now. Thank you.